here's where I'm actually getting a little jealous of anybody in kind of a warmer climate, because you don't have to bundle up to go to the gym. So it's a nice 17 degrees Fahrenheit. So Celsius, that's negative. We're at like negative 3, negative 6, something like that. But I was just watching, you wouldn't call it a podcast, but I was just watching a conversation of Solomon Nelson, I'm pretty sure, and Lyle McDonald, both scientifically based study, training supporting kind of characters. But they talk about it well, especially Lyle. To watch any of those videos, you'll kind of get the gist of what I'm talking about. But like my biggest irk, and I'd rather just talk about training, but I kind of feel like I've got like a calling to want to at least call this out a little bit, because for me, I just don't like it. And what it is when we're talking about like training in a certain way, or like, okay, because with anything fitness related, it's very we want the answer. We want the method. What is the trick? Like, what's the best way to do it? What's the best way to train? What's the best way to diet? And I think we, as a people as a whole have a tendency to kind of, what is best, right? Define best, really. I think David Goggins' idea of the best training is going to look very different than what, my idea might be, or, anybody else's. Somebody else might say, well, the best training, shit, man, you shouldn't even work out. You should just do jujitsu, or something along those lines. But I think we've got a tendency to correlate the best method with the easiest and, basically the most efficient method. And not efficient for efficiency's sake, but efficient for, okay, I want it to work, but I don't want to really put that much energy into it, So here's my perspective, why I am not like dying to base all my training off of a study or anything else like that. Because for me, when I started working out, and I think a lot of people were like this, they just had, they had something that got them started. For me, I quit doing gymnastics, which was like a 3-hour-a-day, except for Sundays, everyday thing. I was getting kind of good, but not like college level good. So it was, and it's a big time commitment. So that was kind of the point. It's like, we just can't keep doing this anymore. Super fun, and I think it really set me up to have a good, consistent, effort-based physical schedule, because it was like 3 hours of calisthenics and running around. Like, honestly, it was sweet, but after that was done, it's like, okay, shit, what do I do now? Well, I'm already kind of in shape a little bit. And then one of the older guys who actually did end up going to college, really good scholarship, he was freaking huge. At the time, he looked huge for sure. I don't know how we would correlate, with how I look now, of course. But the gym, it was just in my head, get some muscle on, look cool, be strong. That would be good. Yeah, that'll be cool. So it was just there. That was kind of the seed. And then weight room in the basement. Mark just sent me a picture from like a Snapchat memory, and it was my 1 rep maxes, or it's at current maxes on a whiteboard. Bench 235, squat 275, deadlift 405, or something like that. 7 years ago, So it just started as simple as that, man. I mean, even before then, like, because it wasn't just, okay, I quit doing gymnastics, instantly got a gym membership. I had like 30-pound dumbbells in my bedroom, and I would just freaking curl them every so often. That was the routine, I didn't wait to like look up the proper method, or just grab some dumbbells, start doing some curls, and it just naturally kind of scaled from there, So what I think I kind of grew to think about training was, the harder I go, the better I'll do. The more I go, the better I'll do. The more consistent I am, the better I'll do. Those were like my 3 tenets. I had to actually back off on this middle one. the more I do and like pull my volume back, because 50 sets a week wasn't really necessary. It worked. I made steady gains that whole first 3 years, main gaining. But you know, it's not exactly what you do. It's more so how you do it. And I'm getting rage baited. Like, I'm watching a video of a guy absolutely 100% into what he's saying, like just a TikTok short, and he's like, why would you squat and do leg press in the same workout? Those are the same. Like the fact that doing a squat and a leg press load the quads in a similar way makes it not work. You know, that's like saying, hey man, if you're that's like going up to a pro boxer and trying to convince him, dude, if you keep hitting him with a jab, it's not going to work. You already hit him once. If you hit him twice, you already hit him that way. You have to hit him a different way. If I got hit with a freaking roundhouse, and somehow or not a roundhouse, what did I say? Right? What is a big, if I got hit with a haymaker and somehow I didn't get completely blacked out, if I got hit with it again, I'm not suddenly immune. You know, like, what is this logic that you can't hit a muscle group with multiple sets even though the sets are similar, you know? And it's just, so what I'm seeing a lot of is guys really just pushing weird rules, like trying to act like there's rules to this shit and if you don't follow them, well, then you're not doing it right, you know? And that's just gross. I just really don't like it. And and then all the like studies that some guys will reference, well, these studies were done by like, you know, random volunteers who just wanted like a volunteer credit, who definitely don't care about training. You know, like, it's different if it's a full-on like Olympic high-level elite athlete based kind of study or something, and it's like really properly done. I'm not trying to discredit anything like that, but I know that even me as like an earlier character, like 160, 170, relative to anybody who's in some kind of study like that, they don't even they don't care about their training. I really care about my training, you know? So it's a weird disconnect. And I think it all just comes down to like a pissing contest of, well, hey man, if I'm not bigger than you, at least I'm smarter than you. You're actually stupid. And there's just so many million variables of your response to training, time spent training, effort, you know, what's your real consistency like behind the scenes. And there's so many variables that to try to pinpoint your training or anybody's bodybuilding or whatever into like one specific set of, you got to do this, and this, or it'll never work. That misinformation at best, you know. And you don't get me started on somebody who says, hey, you've got to train like this, and this. I can teach you. I've got a link down below to my course. Like, you don't think there's a bias there that maybe you just want people to train like you because you're selling how to do it, right? You create the sickness and you sell the cure. It just, I hate it, you know. I don't like to see it like that. So blatant statements of like, there's only one way to do it. It's killing me. Right, I really just, I hate to see it, you know. So I'm concerned with one experiment in particular, right? And that's me. I'm the subject. I'm the experimenter. I'm the analyzer. I'm every different angle of that study, because I'm the only, you know, end result subject whose results that I care about, you know. So I want to optimize my routine to me. I want to train consistently, and I want to adjust my training, and I want to say, okay, this hasn't been working. Let me change my tricep training. I think I've been doing that. I think I've been missing out. I think I've been doing it kind of weird. I think I haven't been doing enough quad pressing. Okay, I gotta up my. If I really want to get show ready lean, I'm gonna have to up my cardio. Right, but the problem with that is that's, you know, trying to learn and adjust your own training it's not like a quick method. It's going to take a while. So that's the hard part. I can certainly see the appeal for someone who's never worked out before, and there's already like a pressure about the gym where it's, oh man, well, everybody knows what they're doing already. How am I supposed to come in here and like, feel like I'm on equal terms? I don't know what I'm doing. I'm a beginner, right? And that I see how that motivates, like, okay, I'm going to learn everything about training before I go to the gym. But, it's like this pursuit of all information just totally, I feel, kills the momentum of like self-learning and experience building. Because if you get this conception that there's only one way to do it right here, you're never going to break out of that box, and you're never going to try new shit for yourself. And, honestly, I think you'll just not only limit your progress, but really just kill the amount of fun you're going to have, Like, the whole point is it's a journey. No journey, at least no cool journey, is completely written out with a 4 step-by-step program, and that's the end of it, right? Sam and Frodo didn't get off I-95, get in an airport, and then take an Uber to Mordor. There's a little bit more to it than that, So that's... I just don't... I hate when people try to sell you the answer when it's not as black and white as that. That's kind of my main take, right? Be a little more conspiratorial, if that's the right word, and just, try this stuff yourself. See what you like. See how much you enjoy the gym. Try to tailor your routine to you. If somebody says, hey man, you got to work out at 5 a.m., nothing else is going to work, but your schedule is such that you can only go at 3, screw that guy, man. You're going at 3, you're going to kill it, you're freaking good, So that's my little rant. That's my little morning ramble that's getting me amped up for today. So in terms of today's lift, just to totally get back on topic, is it's going to be shoulders. So it's going to be side delts, rear delts, and I'm going to do a little bit of forearms. But I think I pulled something in my hand. So right down here at like this nub, but like this kind of ball of my hand here, I feel like I'm a little like tendinitis-y. Like not like excruciating pain or anything, but just like a little bit of soreness. I think it was from doing arms a couple days ago. I must have done like a weird push down or something, or I don't know, something like that. So I'll be wary of that. I don't want to mess with that. Not like, my hand's going to explode or anything. But if you have a little random tweak, I'd probably recommend, at least for me, I'm not going to do anything that tweaks it further. It's already got something going on. I don't want to worsen the situation, But shoulders shouldn't really pose a problem. I mean, honestly, I haven't noticed anything yet. But if I'm just like sitting, maybe I stood up weird, I don't remember. But like just trying to bend it back, I feel a little bit. So I'll keep that in mind. But plan's going to be rear delts, side delts, and then I was going to do a little bit of forearms at the end. But I don't know how forearm curls are going to feel. I feel like that's like, this would be the equivalent of like my knee joint. And then if doing leg extensions hurts your knee joint, maybe you shouldn't do it that day. We'll see. But either way, side delts and rear delts are going to get pumped up to SHIT. So I've got a few methods that I like. Rear delts, not the most complicated muscle in the world. The primary function beyond like a little bit of retraction kind of stuff like this is just going here to here. A lot of that. That's mostly it. So I'll actually I've got three. I've got 3 favorites. So I think just for the sake of changing it up, I won't just do one movement for rear delts and one movement for side delts. Maybe I'll go through and kind of hit a bunch. Not, because it's anything special, but just because I haven't hit shoulders for a while. And then 35 minutes of cardio, and I can get back to the freaking, house and warm back up. I got tank, shirt, hoodie, big ass thrifted jacket I got from New York, which I had to get dry cleaned because it just wasn't totally clean. And then I got jeans over my pants. It's been a while since I've had to get in the car with a double layer on bottom. And it's only going to get colder from here. That's for sure. But either way, let's go get this lift started. Let's start with some rear delt dumbbell lateral raises. So I'm talking 50 pounds will be good. I've kind of warmed my way up to feel it. And these are, it's a little bit of a funkier movement because I'm not going to sit here and like really hold it and squeeze. It's more so kind of like a momentary activation because this is kind of a momentum-y set. Like this isn't as crazy as doing dumbbell curls and like really swinging them, but there's a little bit of like a flow involved. So I'm talking bend over to like here-ish, you know, and it's not that heavy. You don't have to have like a perfectly straight back or anything. And I'm kind of imagining like if you know how your rear delt looks, I'm trying to pull like a little bit back and up. And I want it to, well, obviously burn my rear delts. So at the top, I want a little extra, like just oomph, get them burning, and then basically just finish until I can't do substantial reps. It might take a second to get the feel for it, but these are pretty solid. Okay. Whew. One more of those. I think I'm going to do 3 movements, 2 sets each, 3 for rear delts, 3 for side delts, and then we can pose down and they'll be done. But yeah, one more. Same weight, same everything. Okay. Let's do some laying face pulls next. All right, semi-wide grip for these laying pull downs of this setup. I was gonna do the stack, but it was just too heavy. Like I was kind of pulling my body off the bench. So I'll be a little more conservative and drop it down to, what is it, 190. If I start feeling my traps, that's my cue, the set's over. All right. Okay. One more of those. Just barely slightly heavier. 210 instead of 190. Okay. Oh, yeah. Let's do some reverse pec deck now. Honestly, these are my 3 go-to rear delt movements. Same logic. Heavy enough that I feel it, but not so heavy that I turn it into like an upper back shrug. That's kind of the sweet spot I'm aiming for. And if you'll notice, even on that movement, on the bent over flies, or bent over side laterals, and then here in this reverse pec deck, sure, 3 different movements, but what am I really doing each time? dumbbells, here, face pull, a little bit higher angle, but here, basically. And then here, kind of right in the middle. And even just doing, like if I sat here really squeezing it, honestly, I think I could get a set of just nothing, just like flexes. But 200 will be the sweet spot. Let's get these twos done and move on to some side delts. The real star of the freaking show. Yeah. 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 One more. That's the perfect weight too. Yeah. Yeah. Ooh, okay. Yeah. Time for this instead of this. I like side delt machines. Like I like a pad. I like this kind of, just a machine side lateral. But don't be fooled. I really think your delts don't need a ton of variation. And even if you do, like purely for the, not the fun of it, but just for the sake of maybe hitting it in different ways, just don't freak. I'd feel like I'd be missing out if I never did heavy pressing for quads and only did leg extensions. Dieting is a little bit of a caveat to that. But with your shoulders, side delts, you're going here to here in different ways. That's really all. So don't overcomplicate it too much. But let's start with the machine. One more, a little heavier. Just one notch. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's lose the 2-set rule and do one more. I don't feel like moving on to dumbbells just yet. One more like that, and then we can move on. I think after just those two, I've already got a freaking pump. I don't mind making these a little nasty because the machine, well, I guess let me explain. So I think the biggest benefit of a machine is the fact that it can reduce the amount of energy that you put into the weight's momentum, right? If I'm sitting here doing a cable curl with the easy bar, the exact same handle shape as like a weighted easy bar, like a free weight, I can do those cable curls with the equivalent weight, let's say 70 pounds, and I can do the reps pretty quick. And the tension is very constant, even though I'm kind of ripping the weight. Because even though my hand that's connected to the cable is moving up at this speed, usually the weight itself moves up at half that speed, or even a quarter of that speed, depending on how the pulley setup is set up. So if I'm doing dumbbell laterals and I do them at this same, pace, at the top, the weight might just float because I already got it moving and then I just ride the momentum. But on a machine, I don't Well, I don't know, let me think. So, yeah, I mean, that's what, like easily 2 feet worth of motion, maybe 3 feet. And the weight only moved up like 6 inches. So the weight is never flying. So the tension is just much more constant, you know? So something to think about. But one more nasty one, and then we'll go grab some dumbbells. Oh, let's grab some dumbbells. Oh, okay. Okay, that's way too heavy. One more at the 40s, and then we can call it, I think. All right, I suspect that I have thrown off my split. I think I was supposed to do, like, I don't remember. I think I definitely got my days crossed, though, but I'll use today to get back onto a normal schedule. But side delts and rear delts, certainly a few percentage points larger than normal, and that is cool with me. So let's see how we're looking. Yeah. I mean, even just not even really freaking flexing at all, just standing there feeling like I'm doing a little extra something to pop them out. Nah, this is cool. So I don't hit shoulders a ton, and this is why. Because pumped, which obviously if you're pumped, whatever muscle should seem larger than everything else if you're in decent proportion. But shoulders in particular, I got them going on, that's for sure. But to the point where I want my arms to match. I feel like the roundness of my shoulders right here is, I mean, it far exceeds the roundness of my actual arm, right? Like this ball of bicep to tricep almost doesn't like compare to this roundness of shoulder. But actually, here, where the hell did I put my phone? Let me see what this looks like on the phone camera, actually. Not as cool. Regular camera's cooler. But I feel like I haven't seen my shoulders look like this separated and round before. Like, I've had them good, but this is like fucking nuts. So this is what I think I can say officially that I've got capped delts. Because they're like super round over the back as well. I mean, it's like it's straight out of the Frankenstein movie. Like they slapped a bunch of fucking muscle up here. That's cool. So this is what I want to see. Huge separation from shoulder to tricep. Almost, I mean, yeah, like shit. My rear delt is popping out as much, if not maybe a little more, than my front delt, which is freaking sweet with me. So that's why I haven't been hitting shoulders. They're just kind of big enough already. I want my chest and my arms to match. But let me see how they look in a... I don't even think I can do a side tricep right now. My shoulders are too tight. Whew. Yeah, a little. Let me try to pull this arm way over there. Yeah, we got a little something. Still just a little balled up from being tight, from being pumped though. But that's cool. I mean, that is freaking sweet with me. So maybe I'll throw them in a little more, but it's like, I think some guys can get a shoulder dominant look where their shoulders are like huge and then their arms feel a little lankier underneath. And that's not what I'm aiming for. You know, I want bigger arms to match this kind of torso-ness, if you follow. But no, this is certainly a good sign. Let me do a little side chest. Oh yeah, and they're pumped, so they're actually a little bit less like grainy and defined. Because when I'm unpumped, doing like some of these shoulder flexes, that's where more of this grain, like that kind of grainy lineness will pop out. And in like a side whatever, like a side tricep or a side chest, that grain is really freaking cool. So let me try to do one breath hold and get like these veins to pop out, and then I can get started on my freaking cardio. Oh man. Yeah, leaner by the day, that is for freaking sure. So nothing else to say? Let's for you we can just jump straight to the post lift recap, but I'm gonna go pedal. So I'll see you in a bit. All right, there's a possibility that this car drive back just gets cut off at a totally random point because the battery is about to die and I didn't bring a replacement. But that was good. That was good. And well, let's just say nothing beats a post-cardio nap on the gym couch. That is for freaking sure. I knew it'd be good, but I didn't know it'd be that good. So, plan now is go home, get some food in my system. I think some canned chicken is coming my way, probably with some mustard, relish, maybe a little bit of, I think I'm out of low-fat mayo, so probably better to avoid it anyway. I mean, then less fats in my system. But I had so I had some oatmeal packets beforehand, so just a carb-based meal as a pre-workout. So now I'm gonna kind of up my protein game. That's kind of gonna be the plan going forward for the rest of the day. But I woke up pretty hungry, so I wanted to run off of something for the workout plus the cardio. But I think I might be due for a rest day. Today's obviously pretty chill, just shoulders, side, rear delts. I mean, really not that wild. But tomorrow, I don't know. What can I say? Because I don't want to basically accumulate tweaks. I don't want to accumulate damage as I'm dieting down, especially as I'm limiting my calories so much. But we'll see. So that'll kind of be a decision to make tomorrow morning. Workout, just cardio, maybe only do one session of cardio, something like that. But that's a classic situation which I think gets looked at from like two perspectives, which they both like think that they're right, but really only one is. So what I mean by that is somebody can say, oh dude, I've got back tomorrow, but like I can feel my lat a little bit, like my forearm's a little tender. I think I should use tomorrow to just have like a non-stressing day, maybe do my cardio, active rest day, maybe make it a little bit of a refeed, come back the next day harder than ever, right? Or there's the guy who, he might kind of think the same thing, like, yeah, I think I should probably do a rest day, but really he just wants to slack off because he doesn't want to train. And he's like, I'll just take a rest day, man. A rest day is actually good. It's actually better to go easy, Come on, man. It's almost Christmas, right? So you can take a couple rest days. So that's kind of my perspective on the matter. It's not like taking a rest day is bad, but I think there's a lot of gym patrons where their schedule gets a little bit lighter, and they end up skipping the gym, but not because of a legitimate reason. They just don't want to do it, and that's cool, whatever. If you don't want to go work out, then don't do it, right? But I feel like the whole point of the gym and the whole point of like working on something that's kind of difficult to do in the moment is the fact that it's kind of hard. You did it anyway, and then you're going to enjoy the spoils of that later, like the point isn't to enjoy it right now. In a way, I always enjoy the lifts. As I get leaner and, deeper into prep, I'm sure they'll start to feel a little bit harder. But I still want to do them. But, the difficult part is what makes it more valuable later. It's the fact that you did it, not exactly, doing it in the moment, right? So just keep that in mind. If you know somebody who's a chronic skipper, legs especially, cardio non-existent, they're only hitting chest, arms, shoulders, and back, basically just not even the hips up, because they don't hit abs either, so they're just going more like sternum up. They're just kind of maximizing this top side, whatever, right? Not your split, not your reps. Let them do that, but just try not to let that impact you, right? If anything, use that as kind of a jumping off point for height to say, yeah, whatever, I'm hitting legs anyway. Just don't let that kind of seep in. But yeah, I'm gonna go get some food, and then shit. I'm freaking tired. I might do a freaking post-drive nap. I don't know. We'll see. But either way, I guess I'll just see you tomorrow. A little bit of a quick one, but still clocked it. So I'll see you then.